Well, the show is focused on edible plants, and the reason for that is I was becoming more and more aware of my settler ancestry and I guess the impact that these farming practices had on the land. And I came in contact with some First Nations people, and I decided to look at the plants that would have been foraged and used within many coastal groups before the arrival of my Scottish ancestors in the 1860s. And so, I mean, it's a huge subject. It's massive, and there's no way that I could even begin to delve fully into it. So I decided to look at just a very short list, 8 or so, and to think about what domestic objects would have been brought that would have been considered necessary by the settlers. So linens, tablecloths, tea trays, things like that. And I thought about combining some of those elements with images of the indigenous plants. So much of the work focuses on just those very few plants. So clover, rose hips, hazelnuts, salal, lupins. Those were all used by various groups to add to their diet of fish and wildlife. So, and because I love plants and I'd been focusing on plants for quite some time, it was really an easy kind of transition to look at the cultural significance of those plants as well as their decorative qualities. But I was very aware that I didn't want to create decorative items that would be considered, I don't know what the word would be, but so much of the work, I guess I should explain, is if it's in fabric, it's kind of unfinished. It's got some unraveled edges, the knots in the embroidery are not tied off. It's got this kind of unraveling quality because I wanted to have the sense that things were left unfinished. Things are coming apart. Things are left sort of, the ending is unknown. I know it's a bit of a stretch to think, you know, these are lofty ideas, but it was certainly enough for me to really have a lot of substance to work with. When I first began to think about this work, I actually had a title before I had any of the work, and I was going to call it 8 I Ate at 8, because I did grow up eating a lot of these plants growing up rural. But of course, you know, that's a big mouthful. So florage or florage is a combination of floral, of course, and forage. So to me, it was a nice kind of made-up word that combined these two different areas. So yeah, and I've really enjoyed it. I've used a lot of different materials that I wouldn't normally use. I've kind of come off the wall in some of the pieces. I've incorporated drawing and embroidery and a variety of other techniques. The cardboard, of course, we transport and store our food in cardboard. These are Japanese orange boxes that would have been imported. There's a very old wooden box that was used for importing oranges. So there's some significance sort of built right into a lot of these pieces. So yeah, so that's about all I have to, you know, that's it in a nutshell, a hazelnut shell.